Good morning, students. Today we'll see about the human respiratory system. So, what are the parts present in the human respiratory system? So, you can see the nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea. These are the lungs, bronchioles, bronchi. These are the bronchi, and these are the bronchioles, and the final, the dot-like structure. They are alveoli, and this is the diaphragm. Now, what happens in the human respiratory system? So, you take in air, isn't it? So, this air will enter where? Enter the nasal chamber. Then, where does this air go? The air comes to the pharynx. Okay, this is your pharynx. And then, if you see, this is the trachea. Okay, now here this side there is esophagus, that is the food pipe. But where does this air should go? Air should go through this, that is larynx. Trachea, air should pass into the larynx, and from larynx it goes to the trachea. Okay, this is the larynx, and from there it goes to the trachea. So larynx is also called a voice box, and this larynx is made up of cartilage. Now the top portion of the trachea, this is trachea, and the top portion of the trachea is covered with the flap of skin. Okay, flap of skin. And that flap of skin will help or will prevent the entry of food, so it is called epiglottis. Okay, the flap like skin type which is there in the top of the trachea, that will prevent the entry of food. Now what happens in the pipe, if the food goes, what will happen? We choke, isn't it? So that is flap like structure is called as epiglottis. Glottis is nothing but it is the opening of larynx, and epi means it is like above, so it is called epiglottis. The air goes from trachea to the bronchi. This is trachea, so air goes from trachea to bronchi. And what happens in the bronchi? It splits into three types, that is primary bronchi, secondary bronchi, and tertiary bronchi. If you see in the trees, the branches they spread, isn't it? So if you see the primary, there is branch, secondary branch, and tertiary branch. Like that wise, even the bronchi in our lungs will split into three types, that is primary bronchi, secondary bronchi, and tertiary bronchi. Now towards the end, if you see, so those are called alveoli. Alveoli are very important part of the lung. Why? Because in alveoli the exchange of gases takes place. The exchange of gas takes place in the alveoli, so it is very important part in the lungs or human respiratory system. Now the oxygen which is present there, it will goes to the blood. So from alveoli the oxygen is carried to the blood. So these are the parts of the respiratory system. You can see the nasal cavity, pharynx, and the larynx. So here there is a flap like structure, that is epiglottis. Then this is the trachea, this is bronchus, then bronchioles. So these are the alveoli, and this is the diaphragm, and these are your right lung and left lung. Now if you see the larynx, in male the larynx is protruded outward, isn't it? In male, if you see, the larynx is protruded outside, and it is called Adam's apple. This larynx is called as Adam's apple. So, as I said, in human beings, air is taken into the body through the nostrils, then to the throat, and finally into the lungs. Now, if you see, the air which passes through the nostrils is filtered by fine hairs. Now, inside your nose, there are fine hairs which are present, isn't it? So, the air passing through the nostrils is filtered by fine hairs that line the passage. So, the passage is also lined with the mucus, which helps in this process. So, when you take the air, what happens? The temperature. Maybe the temperature outside, if it is more, so if you take the air inside, the temperature will change. Now, as I said, inside the nose we have hair like structures, isn't it? So this hair will help you to trap the dust. When the air goes in, it will help you to trap the dust. Next, the role of cartilage. So if you see the trachea, it is covered with the rings of cartilage. So the rings of cartilage are present in the thorax. Okay, in your thorax region, the rings of cartilage are present. Cartilage ensure that the air passage does not collapse. So this cartilage will help in that the air passage that should not collapse. The division of air passage. Now within the lungs, if you see, as I said, the bronchi are present, isn't it? And it ends at alveoli. So the passage divides into smaller and smaller tubes which finally terminate in balloon-like structures which are called alveoli. So these are the alveoli. So bronchi, what they do, they divide into smaller and smaller tubes, and then finally it will terminate to alveoli. So alveoli, you know, it helps in the exchange of gas. So the walls of the alveoli contain an extensive network of blood vessels which helps in gaseous exchange. So this alveoli consists of the blood vessels. In the alveoli, the blood vessels are present. So if you see, this is alveoli and this is blood vessels. So from alveoli, the oxygen comes to the blood vessels, and from blood vessels, the carbon dioxide goes to the alveoli. So this exchange of gases takes place. So from alveoli, oxygen goes to the blood vessels. From blood vessels, the carbon dioxide goes to the alveoli. And that is the carbon dioxide which comes out from us. So these are the steps of respiration. First is breathing. You take in the air, isn't it? So after breathing, next what happens? The exchange of gases between the lungs and blood. The exchange of gases takes place between the lungs and blood. Then third, the exchange of gases between blood and muscles. And finally, the cellular respiration. The cellular respiration is nothing but it is the process where the cells break down glucose using oxygen to produce carbon dioxide. So these are the steps in the respiration. Now, what are the characteristics of alveoli? First of all, the alveoli, they have large surface area. Second, they are heavily supplied with the blood capillaries or blood vessels. And third, the walls of the alveoli, they are very thin. Why they are very thin? So that the exchange can happen very easily. So these are the three characteristics of characteristics of alveoli, where they have large surface area, they have their walls very thin, and also heavily supplied with the blood capillaries or blood vessels. Next, we'll see the mechanism of exchange of gases, that is inhalation and exhalation. Now, when you inhale the air, what happens? First, the rib cage which is present, that will move upward and outward. Okay, it will move upward and outward, where the diaphragm you have seen in the picture. So that diaphragm contracts and flattens. Now when this diaphragm contracts and flattens, the volume of the thorax cavity increases. Okay, this diaphragm pulls down and the rib cage, they move upward, so the volume, what happens, it increases. The pressure in alveoli will decrease. Sorry, it is not in the alveoli, the pressure in lungs decreases. So finally what happens, air moves in, that is the inhalation process. So when you inhale the air, what happens, your rib cage moves upward and outward, diaphragm, it contracts and flattens, the volume of the thorax cavity increases. When the thorax cavity increases, the pressure in the lungs decreases, and what happens, air moves in. Now what happens to the inhalation process? The rib cage moves downwards and inwards. Diaphragm, what happens, there it was contracts and flattens, but here relaxed. The volume of thorax cavity decreases and the pressure in the lungs increases. What happens to the air? It moves out. So this is the difference between the inhalation and exhalation. So if you see here, this is the inhalation. So you can see the diaphragm, isn't it? When the diaphragm moves down, so volume in the thoracic cavity increases. So pressure, what happens, decreases. Next, we'll move on to need of respiratory pigments. Now when the body size of animals, when it is large, what happens to the diffusion pressure? The diffusion pressure alone cannot take care of oxygen delivery to all parts of the body. For example, if you see elephant and amoeba. So amoeba, if you see, in amoeba the normal diffusion takes place because it is a unicellular organisms. And diffusion, you know what is diffusion? The substances, movement of substances from high concentration to the low concentration. So in amoeba the diffusion takes place in a normal way, but in complex organisms the diffusion pressure alone takes place. It cannot take place. So we have complex system within us. So hemoglobin. What is hemoglobin? In human beings, if you see, the respiratory pigment is hemoglobin. Okay, the respiratory pigment is called as hemoglobin, which has a very high affinity for oxygen. Now any gas which is moved in, where does it go? The gas will move, which is moved in your body, where does it go? It goes to the blood. So in the blood, oxygen goes into RBC. In the blood, red blood cells are present. So oxygen which is gone into the blood, that will move to the RBC, and inside the RBC there is a pigment called hemoglobin. Now what this hemoglobin do? This hemoglobin will help you to carry the oxygen, and in the hemoglobin the iron content is more. So it is called iron containing pigment. Hemoglobin is called iron containing pigment because iron content is more. Therefore sometimes the doctor suggests to eat leafy vegetables, the vegetables or fruit which is good in iron. Therefore the oxygen what is present in your body may increase. The oxygen level may increase in your body. So this is all about your respiratory system, the process of respiration, and how the inhalation and exhalation takes place. What is the difference between inhalation and exhalation, and the respiratory pigment, that is hemoglobin.